Fred McGuffin reviews. Do 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 do. Spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler. Hangar 18, 1980. Directed by James L. Conway. Starring Robert Vaughn, Darren McGavin, Gary Collins, James Hampton, and many more. I enjoyed this. Don't ask me why. It's from the 1980s. So am I. So James L. Conway also direct. This is more guff. I'm going to talk a lot about this, and then I'm going to give you my score. Hangar 18. So yeah, you've got a shuttle launching a satellite in space, and as they're doing it, as the astronaut is outside, messing with the satellite, a UFO comes along, and they let the satellite go, and it crashes into the UFO, and the astronaut's killed. There's 2 more astronauts in the space shuttle, and yeah, the UFO crashes to Earth because of this crash. It has to land on Earth. So yeah, good premise, good start. I bet you're getting interested in this. So yeah, let's talk about James L. Conway first. He's done a lot of TV work. He did The Magicians, Supernatural, Smallville, Charmed, Star Trek, Enterprise, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, The Next Generation. He also directed The Boogans, Earthbound, and 80s TV such as MacGyver, Hotel, Hunter. So, done a lot of work, done a lot of TV work. This feels like a TV movie. It probably is. I doubt it was released in the cinema. But I need to check that. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so our two astronauts on the space shuttle, they get blamed for this accident. And so that's one thing. The alien spacecraft is taken by the military. It's taken to Hangar 18, so that's where that's gone. And there's a NASA investigation team at the Air Force Base are brought in to examine the spacecraft. Now, we have Robert Vaughn in this, and he's a politician, and he doesn't want this to get out that this has happened. He doesn't want to ruin the chances of an upcoming election. He wants to keep this under wraps for 2 weeks. And Robert Vaughn plays Gordon Kane. Now, you might know Robert Vaughn from Magnificent Seven, Bullet, The Tower of Inferno, Superman 3, The Delta Force, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and many more. He has a huge filmography. It's massive. There's about 230 credits. So he's playing our bad guy politician. He wants this kept under wraps. He doesn't want to tell anyone about what's going on. He also wants to frame these 2 astronauts. Now, our 2 astronauts are Gary Collins, who plays Steve Bancroft. You may have seen him in Airport, Friends, Jag, Hotel, Fantasy Islands, Killerfish, Roots, The $6 Million Man, Y50, and Ironside. So yeah, you'd probably recognise him when you see him. And we also have James Hampton, and he plays Lou Price, and he's been in Teen Wolf 1 and 2, Sling Blade, The Mean Machine, China Syndrome, Pump Up the Volume, Murder, She Wrote, Simon & Simon, Who's the Boss, Condor Man. So yeah, there are 2 astronauts, and they're not happy with getting framed for the death of their friend, your astronaut. So they're going to try and blow the lid on this and find out what's going on. So all the information about what really happened is being erased, and they go to a friend that might have a, let's see, what is he? Hold on, before that we'll just go on to something else. So our politician wants to keep the lid on all this. He doesn't want to blow the election with rumors or panic about this, alien landing. And Gordon also wants to keep the lid on the Hangar 18 for 2. Yeah, did I say 2 weeks? Yeah, okay. Now the newspapers are starting to say that the astronauts are responsible for killing this killing the other astronaut with the mistake with the satellite. So our two astronauts are the fall guys. Now we have someone spotting the UFO landing, and so yeah, we have a witness on the ground who's seen the alien spacecraft landing, and he's trying to tell everyone what happened, and no one's listening. So everyone thinks he's nuts. So our two astronauts try to go to the Crown Mountain, and it's a monitoring station for telemetry, and that's so they feel if they get that information about the telemetry of what happens, they've got a friend there called George. They can, let everyone know that they're innocent. And as this is happening, we have now one of the NASA specialists, NASA scientists that's what would you say, checking out the UFO, examining it, is Harry Forbes, played by Darren McGavin. Now, once you see him, you'll know him, especially if you're doing a lot of TV watching in the 80s. He was in The Night Stalker, Raw Deal, Billy Madison, A Christmas Story. He was the dad in A Christmas Story, Airport 77, Dead Heat, Magnum PI, The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Mission Impossible, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's a huge filmography as well. And yeah, so once you see him, you'll know him. Okay, so their friend George can't give them any information about the telemetry, but he can tell them where the UFO landed on Earth after it got, as it got damaged. So Bancroft and Price go and try to, know where the location is so they can, go and investigate. Now, while they're doing that, the scientists get into the UFO and they have a look around and they discover the aliens. Yes, the aliens. And the aliens are great. They look like us. They're blue eyes. They're balder than me. And yeah. So yeah, it's getting really interesting. We're seeing inside the UFO. We're seeing the aliens. We're wondering why they look like us. Is it just a budget thing? So yeah, it's all happening. And they also find a blonde woman who's barely alive, and she's taken to hospital. And she wakes up on the way to the hospital, and I can't remember what happens to her. Anyway, okay, so we have Price and Bancroft. They fly to where the UFO has landed, and they meet a guy at the airport who tells them about the witness, the eyewitness. And the witness's name is Sam Tate. So they have someone that they need to go and talk to about it. Now the scientists find out that the aliens are recording TV, and they're monitoring broadcasts, and so they're checking out what's going on Earth for some reason. We don't know. Bancroft and Price visit a sheriff, and then they visit the landing site, and they try to take a bit. They find the landing site. They try to take a bit of burnt rock or melted rock, but the feds are there to stop them. So the feds are coming for them, and we have a bit of chase. We have a great car chase, and so we're getting a bit of action in this, and then we also find out that the aliens, they have a parallel evolutionary process, and that the aliens have mated with primitive man, and we are the offspring. So yeah, it sounds sort of, what would you say, Prometheus type sort of stuff, that aliens have developed humans, and so yeah, sounds a bit like that. And what else happens? Okay, just some more of the people that are in this. We have Joseph Campanella, who plays Frank Lafferty. Now he was in The Fugitive, and he was in No Retreat, No Surrender 3, One Day at a Time, and Mannix. We have Pamela Bellwood, who plays Sarah Michaels, and she was in Airport 77, Dynasty, and Serial. Now, there are two scientists in this, two more scientists checking out the spacecraft. We have Stephen Keats, who plays Paul Bannister, and he was in Death Wish, The Friends of Eddie Coyle, Silent Rage, Hester Street, Black Sunday, Turk 182, another scientist. And we have William Schallert, who plays Professor Mills. Now, he was also in Inner Space, In the Heat of the Night, Will Penny, Hour of the Gun, Lonely Are the Brave, Gog, The Man from Planet X, and Them. So this guy, his filmography has 388 credits. So this guy is a legend, William Schallert. And he's in this as well. So yeah, you're getting some great actors in this. Granted, they're sort of B-movie actors, but, you know, or TV actors, but there's great actors. So we have great actors. We have a great little sort of plot about aliens, you know, mating with primitive man and we're the offspring. Nice little shock there to the system. And yeah, we're getting great chases. We're getting great action. We have our astronauts trying to clear their name. So our astronauts hire a car and the brakes are cut and they're also chased. So then they steal a truck and Lou gets shot for releasing fuel on the truck, trying to burn the feds with the fuel from the truck, and poor old Lou gets shot. So there is stakes in this, there is danger, you know. We have a flare shooting off and blows up the feds, and then Lou dies. So yeah, it's all happening in this. And then the aliens, we find out the aliens have died due to the accident with the satellites, fumes from vials that broke when the satellite crashed into the UFO. That's why they're dead. And then we have Gordon Kane wanting to just wipe out the whole thing. He decides to put a bomb in a plane and remote control it into Hangar 18 and just destroy everything. And yeah, he does that. So the ending is bizarre. I love the ending. So we have the explosion of Hangar 18 thanks to our politician Robert Kane, or Gordon Kane. And luckily enough, we think all our scientists are dead and all the people we get to know in this are dead, and they're not. They've been saved, but we don't see that. But they were in the UFO, and we hear that they survived, and that everyone's okay. And there's a news conference. It's like they finish it very quick. Yeah, it's just a very quick ending. But look, I kind of like that. It's really bizarre sort of ending, but we're getting a lot of good stuff before that. And basically it says in the end, the writing comes up, they have a news conference to let the information out, and all's well that ends well. So yeah, you're getting a bit of a strange movie here, TV movie, but for me it's like a so bad it's good type movie. You know, it's a guilty pleasure. I really enjoyed this. I liked the people in it. I liked the story, and yeah, a good time to be had here. So I'm going to be generous. I should be giving it a 2, but I'm going to give it a 3 because there's a lot of faces I knew. There's an interesting story with the aliens. It's a real humdinger of a movie. I like the alien movie. I like alien movies anyway. And yeah, this ain't bad. This is a guilty pleasure. Hands up. You know, you might watch this and go, God, what's he talking about? But it's really good fun, and there's really good stuff in this. And yeah, check it out. I watched this on Film 4, but I'm sure it's available on Blu-ray or DVD. So yeah, Hangar 18, 1980. Check it out. Fred MacGuffin's reviewed. Fred MacGuffin's reviewed. Hangar 18. Bum, bum.